If I can get everybody's attention for just a few minutes. What a great crowd. What a great crowd. Give yourselves an applause for being here. This is a great opportunity for us all to get together and thank Jim and Jim Davis, Senator Jim Davis and Representative Kevin Corbin. We appreciate you inviting all of us to come to your great event here today. We're all excited to be here. But while this is a celebration and an exciting thing to be going on, I want to take just 1 minute to recognize somebody who would be here if she could have been. She's always been here to all of our events. She's worked our Republican headquarters with other people, and she passed away this week. And we just want to recognize Barbara Hazazer and her family during this time. I know none of them are here tonight, but I just want us all to take just a moment of silence to remember her. Thank you. Now I'm going to do the hardest part of the whole event, and I'm going to try to recognize some of our elected officials that are here. If I forget you and leave you out, I'm just going to apologize from the get-go. But we're going to start off with our Republican commissioner, who I see in the back here, Paul Higdon. We've got two of our judges back here, Donna Forga and Tessa Sellers back here. And our very own here in Macon County, our prosecutor, our district attorney, Ashley Welch. I know we got several candidates for different offices. We're not going to recognize you. You're going to have to earn your keep and earn your time to get recognized. But we welcome you to be here. We welcome, I see people of all walks of life here. I see not only our Republican friends, but I see some of our Democrat friends that are here today to celebrate. We want to welcome you. Carla Miller, if you would, am I leaving anybody out?
Well, let's recognize some of the people from the district. Yeah.
Okay, that's your job. You can do that. Hold on 1 second.
The chair of the district is here, District 11, Mark Meadows Congressional District. It's Aubrey Woodard. Aubrey came from Pennsylvania today. Bob Penland is also here. You've seen Bob around a lot because he was Mark Meadows' campaign manager. Now he's the campaign manager for Mike LaPaglia. I'll get that in a second. Running for state, NC State, Secretary of State. And I sure don't want to leave anyone out from the district. Where is he? Isaac. The tall one. This is Isaac Heron. He is so good to come to our events. Thank you. You put a lot of miles in that car. He's the second vice chair of the party. And isn't it nice to see a nice young man in that position? Who am I missing?
Ralph Slaughter.
Ralph. Where's Ralph? Former chair of Jackson County. Mike Clappett, former candidate and winner. Okay, Sheriff.
Make a mistake or two.
Make a mistake or two? Okay, we can do that.
I didn't get to introduce myself. I'm sorry. I'm Dr. Sarah Conway. I'm running for NC Senate District 50. Thank you.
Okay, so at this time, we're going to ask, who do we want to speak first? The Senator? First person that's going to come up to speak is Senator Davis, and I guess I should have introduced the most important person here today, and that is your wife, right? And my wife, and Beth Corbin. Those three wives for sure.
Thank you very much, Sheriff. If I'd have known this announcement would attract this crowd, I would have done it a long time ago. Anyway, I really appreciate your being here. First of all, I had a press release sent out today, and I'd like to read it to you. And Judy, come on up here with me, please. It has been my honor to serve 5 terms as a senator for North Carolina Senate District 50. Since January 2011, I have traveled extensively throughout the beautiful mountain counties I represent, and my goal has always been to understand how I can effectively support their needs in the North Carolina legislature. Elected officials represent just one part of public service and are dependent upon the dedication of and expertise of many local and state employees, and especially the citizens who are committed to making our communities and state the best they can be. My service would not have been possible without these and the voters who trusted me with their support. I am forever in their debt. My primary goal in running for state office has always been to bring a local perspective to state policies, which Kevin can attest to. They are not very well represented in the legislature, were it not for people like us. I felt a strong burden to address the physical problems of the state, especially the underfunded pension and retiree health insurance obligations, while appropriately funding the legitimate functions of government. In addition to these, I am proud to have played a part in groundbreaking legislation to aid in addressing our devastating drug abuse epidemic. The success of my efforts would not have been possible without the steadfast support of my wife, Judy, who has journeyed with me for over 46 years, and my family, who helped keep the home fires burning during my years of service. I am a strong proponent of citizen legislators, those individuals who bring their talent and energy for public good. I believe they should hold their seats for a limited time so others can then step forward with their unique perspectives and skills. That limited time has come for me. I will not be running for re-election in 2020. I am proud of my record, and now it is time to go home to my wife and family. Again, the honor has been mine. Words cannot express my gratitude to those who worked hard and sacrificed to create the foundation on which I stand. I will step down at the end of my current term, pass the baton to another capable and willing public servant, and begin the work of checking off items on my bucket list. Priority on that list, my bride deserves a real vacation. And I think that I shall join her. With deepest appreciation and gratitude, Jim. I want to, again, pay tribute to all those citizens who entrust me with their vote. I tell people routinely that second only to my wife saying I do almost 47 years ago, the greatest honor that I've had, the greatest earthly honor I've had, is for people to entrust me with their vote, to have confidence in me to represent them, whether I was the county commissioner in Macon County or in Raleigh in the state senate. Our service would not be possible without many people helping us like those that are gathered here today. It would be impossible for us to win an election without the tireless efforts of those of you who believe in our cause, who believe in us personally, and who pray for us and pray for our family. It has been an incredible sacrifice, but one that I was willing to make to go to Raleigh. It's 315 miles from my house. I travel further than any other legislator, including Kevin. I beat him by a mile and a half. And I know where all the rest areas are. But I'm really proud of our record. Since gaining control of the legislature, the Republicans in January 2011 have transformed this state, have literally transformed this state. And I am extremely proud to serve with like-minded citizens who are there at great personal sacrifice. There are few, but very few egos that I've met in the legislature. Most people, regardless of which side of the aisle they are, they're there for the right reasons, and I'm proud to serve with them. And I'm especially glad with the tax reforms that we've made. This year, Those of you who have read the news, we have an $800 million budget surplus. We have, as we continue to cut taxes and cut regulations, our revenue keeps going up. That seems like a foregone conclusion to me, but a lot of people on the other side of the aisle don't believe that. They think that that's wasted money. Well, the more we cut taxes, the more our revenue increases. And we have a bill that's on the governor's desk right now to return, or else it's in the House. It's in the House now, to return $250 to every taxpayer filing jointly, $125, and that will take care of about $680 million of our $800 million budget surplus. If the governor vetoes that, I expect that we will put that money to good use in helping to address the unfunded liabilities of retiree health care and pension plan, in addition to building up our savings. Those of you who know that we inherited a $2.5 billion budget deficit in 2011. And since that time, in 7 of the 9 years that I've served, we've had a budget surplus. And this year, it was $800 million. I'm really glad, for that. Because it's enabled us to increase funding. We've increased funding for education over $2 billion a year. And you would never believe that by reading the news and listening to some teachers. But teachers have gotten a raise, 6 out of the last 7 years?
Yes, sir.
And plus we've enhanced their pension plan and their retiree health care plan. So we are funding the legitimate functions of government. And we're doing a lot of good things in this state. Had it not been for our budget surplus, and we took it from a $2.5 billion budget surplus to we had $2.1 billion in a rainy day fund. Last year, after Hurricane Matthew and then Florence, guess what? It was raining. And it rained again this last week. Judy and I just got back from Wilmington on Wednesday night. I had enough sense to watch the weather report, and I was down there on part of my transportation responsibilities, visiting the ports of Wilmington and Forest and Morehead City. But we left, and we were always glad to get back to the mountains. But again, when I'm finally, I would just want to say how much I appreciate each and every one of you that believed in our message, believed in us personally, and that you voted me in. Remember that first term, I won by 161 votes out of 63,000 that were cast. And that was 0.25%, I think. After they redistricted, they gave me a net gain of 5,000 more Democrats the next time. Dallas Woodhouse called me and said, "Davis, they really screwed you over. You ought to run for Congress." But fortunately, with the help of people like you, I was able to beat the same candidate that I beat by 161 votes by 12,500. And that's because I did what I was sent down there to do. I did what I promised to do. And that's to run the state in a fiscally responsible way. And again, I really appreciate all that. I appreciate the prayers that you gave to Judy and me. Judy is a lot more susceptible to the bad letters that get sent into the paper and are said about you. If I was doing what they said that I was doing, I would feel bad about it too. But I knew I wouldn't. But wives who love you they're very susceptible to that. So your prayers and words of encouragement to me and to her are most appreciated. So I thank you very much for that. And having exhausted what I needed to say, I'll turn the microphone over to Kevin.
Thank you. Thank you for coming out today. I just wanted to say that Jim and I made a decision just a few days ago to come together, to have a press conference, to have a gathering, to tell you some things. And we put the word out on Tuesday, Facebook and word of mouth. That's it. And you guys showed up. I want to recognize, we have some folks here from Haywood County. Let me hear you from Haywood County. All right. How about Jackson County? Jackson County? Yeah, thank you guys. How about Swain County? All right. How about Graham County? I'm not sure we got anybody from Graham. How about Cherokee County?
Over here.
All right. Thank you folks from Cherokee County. Who to leave out? Macon County. And Clay County. All right, thank you guys. So thank you for coming. I said Swain. Did you say? Yeah. Is that it? So thank you for being here. I'm a little like, my favorite show, as many of you know, is Andy Griffith's show, and the one where the gold truck came through town, and they were trying to keep it a secret, and word kind of leaked out, and I think word kind of leaked out. But Jim and I appreciate you being here. The thing I want to say first and foremost, I'm going to say a little bit more in just a minute, but what a pleasure it's been to serve in the House with Jim Davis in the Senate. Jim Davis is a statesman. A statesman. And a dear friend. Jim's going to come back and say a few words, and then I'm going to say a few words to close my part. But they say a picture paints 1,000 words, and so rather than say 1,000 words, we'll just paint a picture. So Jim's going to help me tear the paper off this.
By the way, I think me and Beth Corbin did a great job of wrapping that, so it may be a little hard.
They say every election is an important election, but this one is critically important from the president on down. Remember, every 10 years after the census, the legislature is responsible for redistricting. And we need every Republican that we can get in the legislature this time to help draw those maps. In spite of what the judges are doing in North Carolina, and we are inundated with Democrat judges that are legislating from the bench, we have to fight them every step of the way. And it's very critical for us to make sure that we elect Republicans down the ticket from our president. And isn't it great what he's doing with the judicial appointments with the help of the Senate? And I don't wish anybody ill will, but it looks like if Trump has another term, that he'll be responsible for nominating at least 2 more conservative judges to the Supreme Court. Another reason for us to keep control of the U.S. Senate and return a Republican back. That's up. Tom Tillis is up this time. He's got 2 primary opponents, but we have to send a Republican back to North Carolina to keep control of the Senate. It's been a pleasure to serve with Kevin. He's called me on a lot of occasions to ask for advice. Usually he already knows the best thing to do, and a lot of questions he asked I don't know the answer to, but he's served this district extremely well. And I think he's going to have at least 1 primary opponent, maybe 2, but it's important for us to make sure that we keep this seat in Republican hands. Yes. And I would like to personally, at this moment, endorse Kevin Corbin for my seat. I misspoke. It's not my seat. It's the seat I sit in, but it's the people's seat. But again, the honor has been mine. It's going to be difficult to leave the many friends that I've made in the legislature. Some of the finest Christians that I've ever known in my life serve in the legislature, and I can truly say that. Just remember, I don't know what it's like in Mark Meadows' world, but in my world, there's an incredible number of fine public servants that serve in the legislature. They're there for the right reasons. And I have made friends that will be friends for the rest of my life. So, Kevin, you've got a lot of work to do, but we've done the hard part. You just need to keep the arrow going in the right direction. As we continue to return more and more of the people's money to them that know best how to spend it, our revenue keeps going up.
Amen.
And that's a good thing. So.
Thank you, Jim. So a little geography lesson, I suppose, to let you, if you don't know, my district I currently serve is Macon, Clay, Graham, and Cherokee County. Those 4 counties. You add to that Swain, Jackson, and Haywood, and that makes up Jim's district. So this is a little heavier lift for me, for any Republican, because we pick up those counties that are a little more heavily Democrat. So let me say this. I really had no intention of doing this. I'm very comfortable in the House. I enjoy the House. I was elected by my peers this past year as Deputy Majority Whip, which doesn't usually happen in your third year. I'm very appreciative of that, and I take that very seriously. I also chair 2 committees beginning my 3rd year. So why would I give that up? I think I need a psychological exam to do that, seriously. But Jim and his associates in the Senate began talking to me several months ago. Jim told me probably a year ago that he was probably not going to run and that I should consider it. And I said no, that I feel comfortable where I'm in the House. I love my district. Why would I add 3 more counties? My wife said, why would you add 3 more counties? Because I go to everything. I go to all the functions. These guys know I like to show up. I like for you to know that I'm working for you. But they convinced me to do it. If I win this Senate seat, I've been told by Senate leadership they're going to kind of give me a lateral transfer. They kind of give you credit for time served, if you would. I was trying to think how to put that, and I couldn't think of another way. That'll be a quote in the paper, I'm sure, Corbin. It's a little box. I'll have that one in it. So with that said, when you give up somebody like Jim Davis, is such a statesman and such a wonderful representative for his district, when you give up that senior leadership, you give up something, no matter what. If it's me or anybody else, you give up that. He is able to bring money to his district. It is about influence and the influence you have with your peers, and Jim has that. And I'm hoping to bring part of that along with me into that seat. And then obviously someone's going to run for my seat, and I commit to you today that whoever that is, I'm going to help them get that influence in the House. I've got some influence in the House now, and that's not going to go away. I'm going to help that person, whoever that may he or she is, to have that influence in the House. So we'll continue to have strong representation in Western North Carolina. We have been ignored for so long. I heard this. I'm 6th generation Macon. Is that right, Matt? I always forget. 6th generation. My son Matt's 7th, and Sadie and Josie that they're holding are 8th generation Western North Carolina. So I believe in Western North Carolina. My relatives are buried here, and I work hard for Western North Carolina because I love it. And we've been ignored for so long. One thing I committed to do when I got in was to bring senior leadership out here. And you guys have seen us do that. I've had the Speaker of the House out here 6 times in my district. He knows where Robbinsville is. He knows where Murphy is. We tried to get some additional money in the budget. Jim was working on it, and for small schools like Nantahala. Some of you have heard this story. So a legislator in committee from Wake County, of all places, said, well, Nantahala School is only a ½ inch from Franklin on this map, and that's 20 miles. So let's bus those kids from Nantahala to Franklin. Okay, well, it didn't go anywhere. So Jim and I decided, when I got down there, we're going to work on this again. I said, I got the speaker coming up next week. I got a little plan. So we were in Franklin for an event. I said, we're headed to Murphy. He said, okay, yeah, let's see. We hit 64. And I said, no, we're going Warrior Road to Murphy. So, Warrior Road. So I drove the speaker over there as fast as I could possibly drive. And he was looking over, and we finally got there, and he's kind of white complected. And he said, I don't think we can bus those kids to Franklin. Thank you. You know where I live now.
Yeah.
So amazingly, it was $1.5 million showed up in the budget because the speaker said so, and the Senate said so. That's the way you have to work. You have to let people know where we live. Also, the majority whip's named John Hardister. He's a good friend, and so I invited John out several months ago to spend 4 days with me in my district. We're going to visit all my counties, and he's from Guilford County. He's a Greensboro boy. And he said, Kevin, I love the western part of the state. I was in Hickory just 2 weeks ago. I said, John, I'm going to take you to Hanging Dog over in Cherokee County that touches Tennessee. You're not in far western North Carolina until you go to Hanging Dog. So I did. And so Jim and I worked with him. Long story short, John and others are on the Capital Committee. We got additional monies in the budget this year, if we can ever get it passed, for our small rural counties. We got $11 million for construction in Macon County, 10 in Clay County, 11 in Cherokee, and $10 million for Graham County. And that's because we brought these people out here. We show them where we live. And they have to know how far it is to drive from point A to point B around curvy roads. Because they don't get it. They don't understand where we live. But I'm going to talk just another minute. We're going to close. We got some ice cream. So you came for the scoop. So you got the scoop. And now we're going to have a scoop of ice cream.
Scoop is working on Facebook.
All right.
Let me just tell you.
So here's the deal. I've got 3 people here that have clipboards. Hold them up. Kim, who else has got I got 2 more. Yell at me. Yell loud. Okay. Now, you people spread out. If I'm not saying what, because this is really early on, but I'm going to put together a campaign committee in each county, and I need volunteers. So if you're willing to help me, just give one of them your name and phone number. That's all. And we'll call you at some point in the future. Not doing a lot right now. It's real early. It's 1.5 years till the election, so it's a long ways away. But we'd like to have your help. I voted for the last 3 years to lower your personal income taxes, and as did Jim Davis, and they are lower. They will be lower when you file your taxes next year because of that. I will continue to do that. I need your help. I can't do this alone. We voted to bring additional monies to far western North Carolina. We did that. I'm going to continue to do that. But I need your help. I can't do it alone. We voted to lower corporate income tax, which was close to 7%. It's now 2.5%. The critics said you're going to lower it, you're going to bankrupt the state. I read every article written. You're going to bankrupt the state because you're lowering the corporate. You're giving a corporate tax break to the rich. No, we're giving the corporations tax break so they can hire more people, pay more people, who pay more income tax, who spend more money, who spend sales tax. And we're going to keep doing that. We're going to keep doing that. I want to keep doing that in the Senate. But I need your help. I can't do it alone. So I'm asking you for your help. I'm asking you for your support. And I appreciate that very much. See one of those folks with a clipboard. Give them your name. Yes, ma'am. And there's somebody going around with some of my cards. It says NC House on it because that's where I am for another 1.5 years at least. So take one of those cards. If you need me for anything, call me. I always try to respond. Oh, thank you. This is my wife, Beth, by the way. Don't forget. I forget a lot. I do have a fundraiser planned. It's November 14th. That's on a Thursday night. November 14th. We're out at what used to be the Bloomsma Barn out in Patton Valley. Many of you, how many of you were there last one we had? A lot of you were there? Yeah. So we're going to do that. November 14th. We'll have tickets. We don't have them yet today. It'll be very reasonably priced. We're going to have barbecue and all the fixings. Got a bluegrass band coming, and who knows, I might sing a song maybe. But November 14th. Thank you guys for a wonderful turnout, and I appreciate your support. God bless you, and God bless North Carolina.
this is an amazing turnout. Think if we just had 5 days, what we might have done. But this is fabulous, and thank all of you from the surrounding counties that are here today. We are so fortunate. Sheriff, where's the sheriff? The sheriff and these two gentlemen, Ashley, to have the A-team, and we do. It's incredible to me that in this little village in far western North Carolina, bordering Georgia, that we have this kind of talent in such a small place. Gentlemen, it's been our honor to help you. We don't work for just anybody. We work for them. Thank you. For so many of us at this point in our lives, this has to be real. Passionate and dedicated and real, and these people are, and it's just an amazing team. The Macon County team is an amazing A-team as well, and so many of them have worked very hard the last 2 or 3 days to make this happen. But just especially Jim, it's bittersweet for many of us, honestly, because we have worked so hard and so closely with you and Judy, and believed in you so much, and we want the next chapter to be equally as rewarding for you. I want to tell one quick story. 10 years ago in 10, most of the counties didn't know Jim's name even very well. We loaded a Ron Haven's old van, or his old bus, and took about 35 people to Waynesville. And we lined the street from Walmart to Kmart. And we knew that day you were going to win. The people came out of the shops with pastries and coffee. They brought gift certificates. They came by and they shook our hands and thanked us for being there. Even the Democratic mayor came by and personally thanked me. So we knew, especially Jim Gray knew. Because if you know Jim very well, you will know that on his corner, he counted the yays and the nays. And there were about 100 votes, and 96 of them were horn honks and thumbs up. 4 of them saluted him in that special way.
The one thing.
The one. But we knew that day, Jim. We knew that day, and that was early. But it's been such a pleasure. Jim and Judy very graciously invited Rod and I to Raleigh for his swearing in January. It was a great day. But the best thing I found that day was standing in the well of the Senate and having all of the other senators come by, and the respect is tremendous, and tell him how much they are so tickled that he has a new seat. Well, Lieutenant Governor Dan Forrest stands here, President Pro Tem sits there, and our elder statesman sits here. He had moved to the front of the room. And that was the first day in his new seat. I've never been as proud of anybody. Just such respect for he and Judy in Raleigh. So, we figure as you're working your bucket list that every once in a while you might want to come back to the mountains and just rock a little. Have a seat. Thank you. And Miss Judy, you have impeccable taste, beauty, elegance, grace, just like these flowers, pretty inside and out. Kevin, it's a great day to be a Republican.
Let me say this.
I just whispered something to Jim, and he kind of laughed. If you know Jim, he will not spend time sitting in a rocking chair.
That's right.
Retirement to him means riding a dirt bike and a bicycle. I know you, Jim, so he's not going to retire. But let's don't take this retirement thing too seriously. You still got a year and several months to work. So.
That's right. Jim likes to ride on little roads about that wide, too, on that thing, don't you? Yeah, you've got work yet to do. This is for down the road.
That's right. Well, just to prove I can still do it, I'll keep riding.
Okay.
What Carla failed to mention to you, then on that trip to Waynesville, I classified her as a streetwalker. And she did it very well. Thank you.
Those were the early days. I've progressed. You remember, you always say that to be a Republican in Western North Carolina, that we could hold our conventions in a phone booth. But you stand on the shoulder of giants. And you were destined for this, and we're tickled to death to have you. We'll be there with you every step of the way. If we have to get on that bus again, you have to walk the streets again, we'll be with you. Thank you.
We want to make sure that we encourage everybody at the end of the day, at the end of this event. We've got markers that are at the front of this. Generally, our signs get destroyed during the election, but we're actually going to let you write on these signs now for the candidate, for Kevin. We want everybody to be able to just show their support to him and write on this sign. And this sign's going to be, Kevin has agreed to allow the party to keep this sign here. So if you don't get a chance to sign it today, you can sign it another day. But we want to encourage you to go ahead and deface the sign now, write on it now.
Okay.
I'll say one thing.
Sure.
If you're on social media and you don't mind your picture being made with me, I would love to have my picture with you in front of the sign, or take a picture of the sign, or Jim and myself with the sign, whatever, just to let folks know that we had this event today. So again, thank you. God bless.
I thought it took food to get a crowd out. Just a press conference works. I like this. While Aubrey is making his way to the mic, I want to make two announcements. First of all, the Pregnancy Care Center fundraiser banquet is September 21st. The Macon County party has bought a table for that. It will cost you nothing, but it's already reserved. And if you'll see Miss Valerie right here, she will take your name and tell you more details about it. Secondly, the way we fund our club is through Century Club. Also, if you'll see Valerie about that, maybe you'd like to join Century Club. There she is. Okay. Aubrey is the chair, as I said, of District 11. He's going to make just a few remarks from the point of view of the district. Thank you.
Thank you, Carla. It's hard to follow that. I'll tell you, some great people here. And by the way, only 5 days and the news of this event got to Transylvania and Buncombe. So
Yeah.
we're here to visit with you.
Facebook.
Well, listen, in our district we have currently 8 Republican representatives and 5 Republican senators. They're all great representatives, but none tops these 2 that you have here today. They've been wonderful. And Jim, I don't know where he got to, but
He walked over to the car and picked flowers.
I'm certainly going to ask for the best for his next chapter and what he's doing, rocking or whatever it may be. And Kevin, we certainly appreciate you stepping forward to something like this, because we need that seat filled by someone of your caliber. We really do. I encourage each and every one of you counties, there's 3 clipboards that are out here. Be sure you sign up. Let's all get together and make sure this election is ours, and the district pledges to help you in any way possible. Thank you so much. Thank all of you for coming today. Thank you, and vote, please.
Ice cream!
Ice cream.
Through that window. I don't think that's going to work very well.